What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Noob, and I only have one question to ask you folks. What the fuck is Hollywood doing? If you haven't heard the news or seen the trailer yourselves, The Witches, a 1990 movie from my childhood, has been remade and will be starring Anne Hathaway and will be coming out in 2021. And I was originally going to do a reaction trailer. I was filming it this weekend. But when I finished watching the trailer, I stopped because I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? If you are unknown of this classic horror kids movie, let me break it down for you. Basically, The Witches involves following the story of a boy who is with his grandmother, and they go on a kind of a vacation trip to this hotel area. During the stay, there's this big event that's happening with these older-looking women. Well, it turns out these older-looking women are a group of witches, basically a covet or something, and it's their yearly meeting or whatever, but blah, 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 blah. They hate children, and they're finding out a way to get rid of children. It apparently involves candy that turns them into mice, and the kid gets caught up in this, and he eventually gets turned into a mouse, and a lot of things happen. I remember this 1990 movie because it was awesome. It scared me a little. As a kid, it actually freaked me out. I was only about the age of 8 or so, and I saw this movie, and for a while I was like, I'm never taking candy from strangers ever again. And you know, this movie was great. But then I saw this trailer because I'm thinking, all right, they're redoing it. It's 2021. Yes, there's CG and the special effects will have improved. But as I was watching this trailer, I didn't like it at all. Let's first talk about the cast. Anne Hathaway will be playing the Grand Witch in this movie, and I'm sorry. Anne Hathaway, you are not that good of an actress. I don't really enjoy watching you. You have this face that kind of just says that I hate everything, and I just don't like the way you act. And especially since you are trying to play the role that was done by Angelica Houston, who, I'm sorry, if you want someone to be a grand leader, a evil boss or whatever, she played it perfect in The Witches. I'm sorry, she had this swagger, this way she spoke in this that really made me think I could be fearful of that character. Anne Hathaway's portrayal that I saw in this trailer was the Paris Hilton of bitches, is the only way I could think about it. The way she talked, the way she moved, it was all trying too hard. And I'm sorry, whatever fucking accent you are trying to portray Anne Hathaway, you sound worse than a 6th grader who's overacting in their play for their parents.
You see, girls? He would exterminate those brats.
Just listen to that voice. I mean, that accent is just... Ugh. Another thing that kind of really irked me that I found out about this, the narrator, Chris Rock. Now, Chris Rock, I love you, man. You are a great comedian. I love a lot of the things I see you in. Narrator is not quite where I picture you. I'm sorry, the whole time he kept talking, I was waiting for a joke. And this is not a movie where you're going to want to have a joke in it. He was trying to narrate seriously, but it just didn't work. I mean, if you were going to have a narrator who was, I guess, the future version of the kid, I would have gone with Morgan Freeman. I'm sorry, if you're going to have a narrator, Morgan Freeman would have done great. But Chris Rock, I'm sorry, man. I like you in comedy. Not as a narrator. I will say this. There was one actress I saw in this. I was quite happy to see in it. Her name is Octavia Spencer. Now, I've only seen her in a few movies, but I'm sorry. I love this actress. She just has this charm about her. Honestly, she reminds me of some of the Southern mamas I used to have as a kid. Because I was raised in the South, and when you're raised in the South, you don't have one parent. You have, like, a whole town of parents. And I was raised by several. She reminds me of one of those Southern moms who will love you to death, but whoop your ass if you're a child. To see her playing the role of the grandmother in this, I'm actually okay with that, because if you're going to have a great grandma, Octavia Spencer actually fits the role for me, and I'm okay with that. And now the thing I was kind of hopeful for, but now after seeing the trailer, I'm really worried about, was the special effects. I figured since The Mandalorian has been proving that actual puppetry and real effects are actually going to do really well, I was thinking, all right, movies are going to start going back to that. No, you can just see this is a whole crap load of CG. There was the transformation from boy to rat, which was just nah. There was the mice. The mice alone. Stuart Little back in the day had better CGI than these things. I was just watching these and I could just tell. Fake, 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 fake. It was all CG. Hell, even the air vent that looked like they were dropped into looked fake. And now the one thing I do worry about, because it was the thing that kind of scared me as a kid on its own, when the scene in the ballroom where the witches decided to reveal themselves since no one else was around, where they took off all their prosthetics and stuff and actually looked like old school witches, long noses, warts and all that, that shit really made me think, ooh, and made me look at older people a different way. I only saw a little bit of the transformation in this, and it was too pretty. I'm sorry. Witches, especially for like evil, grotesque, nightmarish witches, are not supposed to be pretty. They're supposed to have this sort of look to them. You know, hunched over, skin that looks like leathery, warts everywhere, misshapen face. This did not seem it. I saw an image where it looked like a reflection of Anne Hathaway's face where you could kind of see it, and you could tell it was still Anne Hathaway. It was like, oh, it's slightly disturbing look. And I'm sorry, no, you are supposed to do that. The thing about this trailer that really has convinced me about something is Hollywood needs to stop remaking classic good movies. If Hollywood wants to remake movies, there is a whole section on Rotten Tomatoes of shitty movies back in the day that could have had great stories. Hell, let's face it, we're all still waiting for a Super Mario movie that wasn't done on a drunk budget. Hollywood, you want to remake a movie that children of now and children of my age will enjoy? Go back. Find some of those crappy movies and remake them. Hell, Marvel, Disney, Howard the Duck. It sucked then. But with all your shit now, you can make it better. You want to remake a movie, go remake that. Well, folks, this was my quick little, rant, review, whatever on this trailer. I'm disappointed. I heard about it. It was rumors. I was thinking, okay, if they do it right, it'll be great. I didn't even know who the cast was. But then I saw this, and I'm just like, no, this is just not going to work. Well, folks, thank you for joining me. I will hopefully have a better review next time on something enjoyable. But until then, I will catch y'all later. See ya.